Dear students, welcome back to our history class. I hope all of you are fine. Today, we are going to discuss the long answer questions of chapter 6, the British conquest of Bengal. I hope you remember the short answer questions that we have already discussed in the previous sessions. So let's discuss the long answer questions in today's class with the help of PowerPoint presentation.
Chapter 6, The British Conquest of Bengal. So we're going to see section 5. Answer the following questions in detail. Let's go to the first question. Explain the causes for the outbreak of Battle of Plassey. So as the answer we will see, the following are the causes of the outbreak of Battle of Plassey. The first cause, fortification. We need to explain or elaborate this point. So as a first point we will see, the French had established their settlement in Chandernagore. Anticipating war with the French, the British began to fortify their settlement in Kolkata without the Nawab's permission. Siraj-ud-Dowlah was enraged at the direct challenge to his power. The Nawab asked the British and the French to pull down their fortification. While the French agreed, the British refused. This led to a direct conflict between the Nawab and the British. So that's the first cause, fortification. The French agreed to pull down their fortification, but at the same time British did not. So that has become one of the causes for direct conflict between Nawab and British. And secondly, capture of Calcutta. In 1756, Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah marched towards Calcutta with a large army and captured Fort William, which was a British stronghold. Robert Clive soon recaptured Calcutta. Consequently, the Treaty of Alinagar was signed between the British and Siraj-ud-Dowlah. According to the terms of the treaty, the Nawab restored trading rights and the city of Calcutta to the British. Rights to fortify Calcutta were also given to the British. However, the British were not satisfied and they wanted to place a puppet ruler on the throne of Bengal to suit their expansionist designs. The British under Clive and the support of former Subedar of Bengal, Mir Jafar, presented a set of unreasonable demands to the Nawab, which made the battle inevitable. So there are two causes. First one, fortification done by the British. Secondly, they captured Calcutta. So that are the causes for the outbreak of the Battle of Plassey. I hope you got the answer. Let's move to the second question. What reforms did Mir Qasim undertake to reorganize Bengal's administration? What reforms did Mir Qasim undertake to reorganize Bengal's administration? Let's see the answer. Mir Qasim was an ambitious ruler. On becoming the Nawab, he immediately granted the zamindari rights over Burdwan, Midnapur and Chittagong to the British. Mir Qasim also undertook certain reforms to recognize Bengal's administration, which was in a chaotic state. What do you mean by chaos? Yeah, which is not in order. Okay, so we will see some of the reformation. Mir Qasim shifted his capital from Murshidabad to Bonkir, far from the British control. Secondly, he hired French officials to train and discipline the Bengal army. The new army was modern and well equipped. That's the second reformation. And thirdly, to prevent the misuse of duty-free trading privileges by the British, Mir Qasim abolished all duties on internal trade for Indians as well. This affected the British monopoly in the trade and enraged them. So these are the reforms done by Mir Qasim to reorganize Bengal's administration. I hope you got the answer. Let's move to the third question. What were the results of Battle of Buxar? What were the results of the Battle of Buxar? The Battle of Buxar marked the beginning of the British colonial operation in Bengal. The following are some of the other results of this battle. The following are some of the other results of this battle. After the battle, the British became the absolute masters of Bengal. The British gained political control over Awadh. The Treaty of Allahabad in 1765 was signed between Shah Alam II and Robert Clive. According to this treaty, the British obtained Diwani, or the right to collect revenue from Bihar, Bengal and Orissa. Awadh was made a buffer state between the British possessions in Bengal and the Marathas. The British agreed to defend the Nawab of Awadh against his enemies. However, the Nawab would have to pay for the expenses of the British troops. So these were the after effects or the results of the Battle of Buxar. Let's move to the fourth question. Write a short note on dual government in Bengal. Write a short note on dual government in Bengal. After the victories at Plassey and Buxar, the British became the real rulers of Bengal. A new administrative system was established in 1765. It was known as the dual government in Bengal. Let's see what are the features of this dual government. According to this system, the English enjoyed all the privileges of being a ruler, but they had no responsibility. They had complete military power and the right to collect the revenue in Bengal and to use it as they wished. The Nawab, on the other hand, had to look after the administration and law and order. According to the system of dual government, the Nawab of Bengal also had to disband most of his army because, yeah, we have already seen they were having, the British had army, but it was the duty of Nawab to take the expenditure for the army, but Nawab had no right or no power over army. A small amount of revenue was given to the Nawab to run the civil administration, and all the other shares were taken by the British. actual administrative powers, and most importantly, the collection of the revenue was controlled by British. So that was the system. Such a system adversely affected the life of people in Bengal. So this is a short note on dual government in Bengal. It was not in favor of the citizens, neither of citizens nor of the Nawab, but it was in favor of the British. Now let's move to the fifth and final question in this section. What were the effects of the dual government? We have already seen it was not so in favorable of the people or nor of the Nawab, but it was in favor of the British. So let's go to the answer. Such a system adversely affected the life of people in Bengal in the following ways. Corruption of the officials who collected taxes grew. It was all the more increased. Misery of the people, particularly of peasants, increased. The British were only interested in amassing wealth and did not bother about the welfare of the people. This was evident when the Great Famine of 1770 broke out in Bengal, in which more than one third of the population perished. So you can imagine how worse the situation was. British had all the powers but no responsibility. The Nawab had all the responsibility but no power. So this was the dual government system, and it affected very badly, so that people suffered a lot. I hope you are clear with the answers. Here we conclude this session. So note down the answers and learn well. Thank you.